Good morning. Today we will start with the topic engine emissions and their control. We will start with hydrocarbon emissions. Figure 14.1 shows the variation of hydrocarbon emission levels with respect to equivalence ratio for SI engine. So you can see here hydrocarbon is a function of your equivalence ratio except that during starting. With a fuel rich mixture, there is not enough oxygen to react with all the carbon, resulting in high levels of hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide in the exhaust products. This is true during starting. When the air fuel mixture is purposely made very rich, it is also true to a lesser extent during rapid acceleration under load. If air fuel ratio is too lean, poorer combustion occurs, again resulting in hydrocarbon emissions. The extreme of pure combustion for a cycle is total misfire. If the combustion mixture is very lean, again it is a total misfire. This occurs more often as air fuel ratio is made leaner. One misfire out of 1000 cycles give exhaust emissions of 1 gram per kg of fuel. The causes of hydrocarbon emissions from SI engine are incomplete combustion, ceramic volumes and flow air in ceramics, leakage past the exhaust valve overlap, deposits on valve, oil on combustion chamber valve. We will discuss this in detail. So first, your incomplete combustion. Even when fuel and air are entering engine at a ideal stoichiometric condition, perfect combustion does not occur and some hydrocarbon ends up in the exhaust. There are several reasons for this. Complete and homogeneous mixing of fuel and air is never possible completely. The incomplete combustion is due to, first is improper mixing. Due to improper mixing of air and fuel, there is you can say the oxygen don't react with the fuel actual. Second is your flame quenching. As the flame goes very close to the walls, it gets quenched. Quenched means the flame actually gets cold and it diminishes near the cylinder walls, leaving a small volume of unreacted air fuel mixture near the walls. The thickness of this unburnt layer is order of 100 microns. However, it may be noted that some of this mixture near the wall that does not originally get burned, as the flame front passes will burn later in the combustion process due to additional mixing, swirl and turbulence. So this mixture which is left near the walls may be burned later. Another reason for flame quenching is the expansion of gases which occur during combustion and power stroke. As the piston moves down from top dead center to bottom dead center during power stroke, expansion of gases lower both pressure and temperature within the cylinder. This makes combustion slow and finally quenches the flame somewhere late in expansion stroke. The quenching problem will come into existence when at near the expansion stroke. So due to this, the unburnt and unreacted particles and hydrocarbon emissions will you can say we can see hydrocarbon emissions. High exhaust gas contamination causes poor combustion and which in turn causes quenching during expansions. If you use excess of exhaust gas recirculations, EGR means that we sometimes use burnt gas to mix with the fresh air fuel mixture. If you use large amount of exhaust gas recirculation, again this problem will come which will lead to the quenching of the flame and results in hydrocarbon emissions. It has been found that hydrocarbon emissions can be reduced by using additional spark plug at appropriate locations in the engine combustion chamber. By starting combustion at 2 points, the flame travel distance can be reduced and the total reaction time are both are reduced and less expansion quenching will result. Second is your ceramic volumes in the flow in ceramics. So what we have, the volumes between piston and piston rings and cylinder wall are shown in figure. These ceramics consist of series of volumes from number 1 to 5. You can see this is your cylinder wall here and this is your piston here. This is part is your piston and these are your rings. You can see here this volume here, this 1 number volume, this 2 number volume, this space between your piston ring and piston, and this volume, and you can see these volumes. So these volume connected by flow restrictions such as ring side clearance and ring gap. So these all volume is connected. The geometry changes as each ring moves up and down on its ring groove, sealing either at the top or bottom ring surface. Also the ring contains this gap also in the top ring there is some gap. So what will happen? Through this gap, the gases will come here. So through this gap, gases will come here and they will occupy this space here. What will happen? We will discuss. During the compression stroke and early part of combustion process, air and fuel are compressed into the ceramic volume of combustion chamber. So when your piston move up, from bottom dead center to top dead center, what will happen? Whatever the air fuel mixture here, this will come into these spaces through this ring gap. It will come into the spaces, okay, and it will get compressed. As much as 3.5% of the fuel in the chamber can be forced into this ceramic volume. So whatever you can say fuel here, your air fuel mixture is here, 3.5% of that air fuel mixture will come through this gap into these spaces here between, you can say, this space, this clearance spaces here. Later in its cycle, during the expansion stroke, pressure in cylinder is reduced below ceramic volume pressure and reverse blow by occurs. Means when your expansion stroke starts, the whatever gases are here, they will try to flow back into the cylinder. They will just because of here pressure is less during expansion stroke, so these gases will flow back into the cylinder. So this is called reverse blow by. Fuel and air flow back into the combustion chamber where most of the mixture is consumed in flame. However, before the last elements of reverse blow by occurs, flame will be quenched and unreacted fuel particles come out in the exhaust. So whatever 3.5% of the volume is, you can say, is compressed in the rings and piston space, so that will go into back into the you can say chamber, but it will be remains as unburnt. So location of spark plug relative to top compression ring gap will affect the amount of hydrocarbon in engine exhaust. The farther the spark plug is from the ring gap, the greater is hydrocarbon in the exhaust. So whatever gases come out from this space back to the combustion chamber, they will remain unburnt and they can't get consumed by the flame, because the flame will quenched before they will start any burning. So this mixture will remain unburnt. So ceramic volume around the piston rings is greatest when engine is cold due to the difference in thermal expansion of various materials. Because when your engine is cold, this ceramic volume will further increase because your piston is cold, so this gap will increase. Up to 85% of all hydrocarbon emissions can come from this source. So this is a major part for your hydrocarbon emissions, that is your ceramic volume. Next is your leakage past the exhaust valve. As pressure increases during compression and combustion, some amount of air fuel mixture is forced into ceramic volume around the edges of the exhaust valve and between the valve and valve seat. A small amount even leaks past the valve into exhaust manifold. So this when the exhaust valve opens, the air fuel mixture which is still in the ceramic volume gets carried into the exhaust manifold. This causes a momentary increase in hydrocarbon concentration at the start of blowdown process. Second is next is your valve overlap. Valve overlap is a must to obtain satisfactory performance of engine. During valve overlap, both exhaust and intake valves are open simultaneously, creating a path where fresh air fuel mixture can flow directly into the exhaust. A well-designed engine minimizes this flow, but a small amount of fresh fuel air mixture escape. The worst condition for this is idle and low speed, because at idle or low speed, when the overlap in terms of milliseconds is largest, because at slow speed the volume will remain for larger time as compared to when your engine is at higher speeds. Next is your deposits on walls. Gas particles including those of fuel vapor are absorbed by deposits on the walls of the combustion chamber. The amount of absorption is a function of gas pressure. The maximum absorption occurs during compression and combustion. Later in cycle, when the exhaust valve opens and cylinder pressure gets reduced, absorption capacity of deposit material becomes lower. Gas particles are deabsorbed back into the cylinder. These particles, including some hydrocarbon, comes out from the cylinder during the exhaust stroke. This problem is greater in engines with higher compression ratio. Due to higher pressure these engines generate, more gas absorption occurs as pressure goes up. Clean combustion chamber valves with minimum deposits will reduce the hydrocarbon emission in the exhaust. Older engines will typically have a greater amount of wall deposit build up. Also, you can keep this minimum with the help of high swirl. The wall deposit can be decreased. When unleaded gasoline is used in hydrocarbon emissions, from wall deposit become more severe. When leaded gasoline is burned, the lead compounds make the walls harder and less porous to gas absorption. But the drawback of the leaded petrol is that it's banned now because it will produce the pollution. The next is oil on combustion chamber walls. A very thin layer of oil gets deposited on cylinder walls to provide lubrication between walls and the moving piston. During the intake and compression strokes, the incoming air and fuel comes in contact with the oil film. In the same way as wall deposits, this oil film absorbs and deabsorbs gas particles depending on gas pressure. During compression and combustion, when the cylinder pressure is high, gas particles including fuel vapor are absorbed into oil film. When pressure is later reduced during expansion and blowdown, the absorption capability of the soil is reduced and fuel particles are deabsorbed back into the cylinder. Some of this fuel ends up in the exhaust. You can understand this process by the same way as when you heat when you open a you can say cold Coke bottle, the gases will come out of this bottle. So with the rise in temperature, the amount of gases dissolved which liquid has will come out of the gases. Means when the temperature will rise, the gases will come out of the liquid, and when pressure and temperature will decrease, the liquid will absorb. The absorptibility of liquid for the gases will increase. So same way your oil will first absorb the gases during high pressure, and in later stages it will remove those you can say gases when the pressure will decrease. As an engine ages, the clearance between piston and cylinder walls becomes greater because with the wear and tear and with the you can say older engine, this piston rings and cylinder walls become greater. The thickness and clearance space between them becomes larger. So the thicker film of oil is left on the walls. Some of this oil film is scraped off the walls during the compression stroke and gets burned during combustion. Oil is a high molecular weight hydrocarbon and it does not burn easily. So whatever we will use oil for the lubrication purpose in the engine, so that don't burn easily. Some of it come out as hydrocarbon emissions. This happens at very slow rate with the new engine but increases with engine age and wear. Often as an engine ages due to wear, clearance between piston and cylinder wall increases. This increases oil consumption also. Older engine will consume more oil because the oil will start to pass between the clearance space and it will come into the combustion chamber and then it will go into the exhaust. So the wastage of the lubrication oil. So the increased oil consumption contributes to an increase in hydrocarbon emissions. There is a added ceramic volume. There is a added absorption, deabsorption of the fuel in the thicker oil film on cylinder walls. There is a more oil burned in the combustion process. So in the graph you can see figure 14.4 shows how hydrocarbon emissions go up as oil consumption increases. Oil consumption increases as the piston rings and cylinder walls wear. In older engines, oil being burned in the combustion chamber is a major source of hydrocarbon emissions. In addition to oil consumption going up as the piston rings wear, blow by and reverse blow by also increases. So with the increase in wear and tear of the piston and piston rings, the blow by also increases. So you can see in the graph here, as the oil consumption, hydrocarbon emissions will increase and oil consumption rate will increase as you can say the how the oil consumed will be directly lead to the hydrocarbon emissions, because whatever oil consumed by the engine from the engine, the same oil will go, lead to the you can say higher and higher pollutions, hydrocarbon emissions. So this is all about the hydrocarbon emissions. You can subscribe this channel and like this video. For any comment you can comment in the below section. Thank you for watching this video.